you ever noticed something strange? Some people post every birthday, every vacation, every meal, every happy moment online. But then there are people who almost never post anything. You know they have memories. You know they have stories. You know they have good days and bad days. Yet somehow, their social media looks almost empty. And if you're one of those people, you may have wondered, why don't I feel the need to share everything? Well, psychology has some interesting answers, and what you're about to hear might explain more about your personality than you think. Because not posting your memories on social media is not always about being shy. Sometimes, it's about something much deeper. Let's talk about it. We live in a world where sharing has become normal. A beautiful sunset? Post it. A birthday celebration? Post it. A new achievement? Post it. A family gathering? Post it. Sometimes it feels like if something wasn't posted online, it never happened. But human psychology tells a different story. Not everyone experiences life in the same way. Some people experience moments through a camera lens. Others experience moments through their heart. And that difference changes everything. The first reason many people don't post their memories is because they value experiences more than attention. Think about this. Imagine you're standing on a mountain after a long hike. The view is incredible. The sky is glowing. The wind feels perfect. Some people immediately reach for their phone. Others simply stand there and enjoy it. Neither is wrong. But psychologically, people who don't post often focus more on living the moment than documenting it. Researchers have found that constantly thinking about sharing experiences can sometimes reduce how deeply people enjoy those experiences. Instead of asking, "How does this feel?" the brain starts asking, "How will this look online?" And for some people, that shift doesn't feel natural, so they keep the moment for themselves. Not because it isn't special, but because it is. The second reason is emotional privacy. Not everyone wants strangers to have access to their personal life. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Social media can sometimes create the feeling that everything should be public. But psychologically healthy boundaries are important. Some people see their memories as personal treasures, things meant to be shared with family, close friends, or sometimes nobody at all. Imagine receiving a heartfelt letter from someone you love. Would you immediately show it to thousands of people online? Probably not, because some experiences feel more valuable when they're protected, and many people who rarely post think the same way about their memories. The third reason is something called internal validation. This one is powerful. Many people unknowingly depend on likes, comments, and reactions to feel good. The brain releases dopamine when we receive social approval. It's the same reward chemical involved in many habits and behaviors. That's why notifications can feel exciting. But people who don't post much often get their validation from somewhere else. They don't need hundreds of people saying, "Wow, congratulations, amazing," to feel happy about something. The memory itself is enough. The achievement itself is enough. The experience itself is enough. And that's a very different way of living. The fourth reason is deeper self-confidence. Now this might sound surprising, but sometimes the people who post the least are actually very comfortable with themselves. They don't feel a constant need to prove they're successful. They don't feel pressured to show everyone how happy they are. They don't feel the need to build an image because they already know who they are. Psychologists often describe this as a secure sense of self. It's like a tree with deep roots. The stronger the roots become, the less the tree needs support from outside. The stronger the roots become, the less the tree needs support from outside. The fifth reason is that they understand something many people forget. Not every memory needs an audience. Think about your happiest childhood memory. Maybe it was a simple day. Maybe no photos were taken. Maybe nobody else even remembers it. Yet it still means something to you. Why? Because memories don't become valuable when they're seen. They become valuable when they're felt. And people who rarely post often understand this naturally. People judge, people compare, people criticize, people make assumptions. They know that a memory can stay beautiful even if nobody else ever sees it. People judge, people compare, people criticize, people make assumptions. Sometimes you post something meaningful, and someone turns it into negativity. Sometimes you post something meaningful, and someone turns it into negativity. And psychologically, That can reduce stress and anxiety. And psychologically, that can reduce stress and anxiety. And psychologically, that can reduce stress and anxiety. The seventh reason is that they often live less for comparison. Social media comparison is a huge psychological issue today. According to multiple studies, including research discussed by institutions like the London School of Economics and other psychological researchers, frequent social comparison on social platforms is linked with lower well-being and increased feelings of dissatisfaction. Why? Because you're constantly seeing highlight reels, not reality. The perfect vacation, the perfect relationship, the perfect body, the perfect success story. But real life isn't perfect. People who post less often spend less time performing their life and more time living it. And that creates a different relationship with happiness. Now here's the interesting twist. Many people assume that someone who rarely posts is lonely, or boring, or antisocial. But psychology suggests the opposite can sometimes be true. Some of the happiest people are simply busy living. They're spending time with people they love. They're creating memories. They're growing. They're learning. They're healing. And they're doing it quietly because they don't feel a need to turn every meaningful moment into content. In fact, one of the strongest signs of emotional maturity is understanding that not everything needs to be displayed. Some parts of life become more meaningful when they're private. Some joys become deeper when they're shared with only a few people. And some memories become stronger when they're experienced fully instead of being interrupted by the pressure to post. So if you're someone who rarely uploads photos, rarely shares personal updates, or rarely posts your memories online, there may be nothing wrong with you at all. You might simply be someone who values presence over performance, depth over attention, connection over visibility, and experiences over approval. Of course, there's nothing wrong with posting memories either. Social media can be a wonderful way to connect with people and preserve special moments. The point isn't that one approach is better. The point is understanding yourself and understanding why you do what you do. Because when you understand your behavior, you understand yourself. And when you understand yourself, life becomes a little easier. So here's a simple challenge. The next time something beautiful happens, a sunset, a celebration, a small victory, ask yourself one question. Am I sharing this because I genuinely want to, or because I feel like I should? That single question might teach you something powerful about your own psychology. And maybe the most meaningful memories in your life are not the ones everyone sees. Maybe they're the ones that stay quietly in your heart forever. If this video felt personal, if you saw yourself somewhere in this discussion, let me know in the comments. Do you usually post your memories online? Or do you prefer keeping them private? And if you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind everyday human behavior, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because sometimes the smallest habits reveal the biggest truths about who we really are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.